What's going on, everybody? It's your girl, Stizzle Speaks. Welcome to another episode of Coffee Talks Live. Thank you for being here on my YouTube channel. If you have not already, subscribe, click the notification bell so you can find out when this happens every single week. But I'm super excited. On my podcast, I talk about leadership, lifestyle, love, and leveling up. Specifically for my ladies. However, this is a platform for everyone. So I'm super excited today. My guest today is the beautiful Nae. I met her at a networking event, and I'm so excited to have her on because I don't know about y'all, but I have not traveled, and I gotta take a moment of silence, but I have not traveled like literally to an island in so long. Like I've been to Atlanta for conference, networking shit. I've been back home to Boston, but like to actually be on an island and feel the sun and have a nice drink by the pool, like literally it's been forever. So I'm excited to talk to her about her journey being in the travel agency business and also an amazing digital content creator. She has over 25,000 followers on Instagram alone. So I'm super excited. We're about to get into this conversation. I'm gonna let her into the room. So welcome to Coffee Talks, y'all. All right, let's see. And we are live, so we do this live, so everything is like in motion right now. Hi! You look good.
Good to see you again. Yes.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Welcome to Coffee Talks. Thank you for being here this week. I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
Yeah, so like I was saying to you guys who are watching, welcome. You can leave comments if you have questions. This is a live stream, so we literally do it in the moment. But I met Nae at a networking event here in LA not too long ago, put on by Stormy Banks. Shout out to Stormy Banks. And like literally, she was a gem from the beginning. We just started talking. We just started kicking it a little bit. And that's when I saw her Instagram page, and she was like, oh, I do a lot of travel and stuff. And I'm like, girl, just looking at your page alone makes me want to get out and just go to another country. And so introduce yourself to the audience. Let us know what you do, where you're from. Give us the down low.
Yes, my name is Nae. I'm from LA, born and raised. I know a lot of people, they move to LA, but yeah, I'm born and raised in LA. I'm a travel content creator. I have a travel agency, and I also have a talent agency also. So that's what
talent agency.
So all things travel.
Oh, Jesus. I'm like, snow? No snow. All right, so talk to us about, like, how did you get started with being in the travel agency business? Because you are the CEO of your company, so you are an entrepreneur, you run your own business, so shouts out to you. Where did it come from? How did you start? What was the beginning like for you?
For the travel agency, it's still pretty new, but like since I was doing a lot of my own travels and then people see me traveling, and I was like the first in my family to really start like traveling. I was first to get my passport. My dad just got his passport because I have mine. So, and people always ask me like, oh, where should I go? You know, like people ask me for tips of booking travel anyways. And like people like tell me to start an agency. So I'm like, I might as well like make it a business since people ask me about it all the time anyways.
Right. And so, like, your dad just get his passport. Shouts out to his dad.
Yeah, my mom's still waiting for her to get hers. She has her application, but she has to submit it. So.
Very nice. That's important, I think, especially now, right? Like my homie, he just got his kids their passport. His youngest is 2 years old, so it's like traveling is really the way to go. And so that's exciting that your dad got on board. And so when you started traveling yourself, right, before you started your travel agency, was there something about being in another place, or what was the allure for you to say, okay, outside of like other people asking you to travel, like what was the allure for you wanting to be out and about and travel and, you know, get a lot of the nice content that you do get in some of these places? Like, is there something about being outside of LA that gets Nae going?
Yeah, so and I just started traveling recently. Like most of my travels are like last year. I got my first passport stamp to Jamaica in 2019. It was my aunt's 40th birthday, so she invited me there. But I always wanted to travel. I wanted to study abroad when I was in college. So since high school, I wanted to study abroad. I wanted to go to Spain because like I always wanted to be like fluent in Spanish. So I wanted to go to Spain, and then like the program like ended up not working out, and I was like super bummed about it. I was like determined. I'm like, I have to travel. Like when I graduate, I have to travel. And then like I was starting to see like being in college, especially like Black people, I didn't see a lot of Black people traveling. So I started getting more exposed to it. It was always wanted something like different, and I always loved trying new things and, you know, experiment in different ways. And then even when I went to Jamaica, just like seeing how different people live and like mindsets was so big to me because like everybody seemed so happy, but it was like so simple. I'm like, it's like the most simple stuff ever. Like we have all this stuff in like the US, but like so many people are depressed. So I'm like, it's crazy. It's like so much, it's like opens up like my mind. So it's not just like my physical environment, but like my like mind and everything. Like beauty standards are different in different places. Like the way of living, mindsets, like, and it just opens you up to so many different things. And I want to show more people that. And also like it's like a self-care type of thing, like, you know, and it was always something that I didn't think I would do. So then it was really like empowering for me. I'm like, you know, and I'm learning it, and especially since like I wasn't exposed to, because my family didn't travel, so I wasn't exposed to it. So I'm like, I'm gonna just try it, you know, like I just keep like, I didn't even know what I was doing, but I'm like, I'm gonna just try it and I'm do it, and here we are.
I love that. And you mentioned study abroad. That's one thing when I was in college that I regret not doing. I don't regret a lot of things in life, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get this iPad together. I don't regret a lot of things in life, but I do regret not studying abroad when I was in school, because that was the perfect opportunity to see other places. And it's funny because a friend of mine went to Spain. That was her study abroad program. And like, you know, you're getting financial aid, they're paying for it. So if you're watching this episode and you are currently in college and you have the opportunity to study abroad, Still Speaks is telling you and Nae is telling you to take heed and study abroad, because that is really a great opportunity to see the world. And again, depending on your community where you come from, like my family didn't travel a lot either. And I remember my first time going to Jamaica, and I was like, oh, so they're walking around, like the kids are walking around, no shoes on. People are like outside next to like little streams on the street. Like you said, everyone's happy. No one is really miserable. They don't look miserable. You may have a sprinkle, but for the most part, everyone is really happy. And so you see life through a different lens when you do travel and you get outside of your environment, what you're used to. And then you start to appreciate the things that you do have, right? And the small things, and show gratitude, because we have it all, quote unquote, here in the States, right? Like we have it all technically. And to your point, people are still in a place where they're complacent, they're stuck, they don't have gratitude, they don't appreciate what's happening now. And so I encourage everyone to travel. It's the best thing that I did for myself when I started to travel and spend money doing so. Like I was bartending, so I was making great money, but I was sacrificing certain bills just to be able to go travel at the time, because I was in my 20s, right? So like, what do you know in your early 20s? No shades anybody in their early 20s, but I didn't know anything outside of like, this is about my happiness, and I want to make sure that I do everything I can. So my first dose of Jamaica was like, okay, this is great. And then it was DR after that, and you couldn't get me out of DR. Like literally, I need to own a home in DR at this point. Like it was the place to go every year. Would always go to DR. So I love that. And I want to talk about your content, because when you travel, you're very specific in terms of what you post on your page, the kind of content you post, and you have 26,000 followers, which is amazing, right? In terms of digital creation and content now, what are kind of the things you think about when you do travel abroad that are important that you want to bring back to your community on your platform to make sure like they get the message the right way?
Yeah, I'm like, the more I travel, the more I'm starting to like get my groove and what I want to like communicate to my audience. Like my thing is big on like self-care and like mental health, and also like education. So like learning about yourself and learning about other people is a way of like mental health and self-care too. And it's just so interesting for me, especially like as a Black woman, seeing other Black people in different countries, like, and how everybody has different experiences. And that was just so like fascinating to me. So just like learning different things, and even like I share beginner friendly travel tips too, because like sometimes I get like imposter syndrome, like, oh, I'm not like a super expert, people been to 100 countries, 50 countries and stuff, but then like it's stuff that like I didn't know this stuff, like, so I share beginner friendly travel tips too, because like even the simple stuff, I didn't even know how customs was like 2 years ago. So just getting people exposed to it, because, and people don't ask those questions because it's like, oh, like I should know this or something. So just showing them the areas and like different things that they can do to make it easier. And I always tag places and stuff. I don't gatekeep, you know, I tag places. I'd be like, I got this meal, it was only $5. So I want to show people that is accessible to them, because people think, oh, travel is not accessible to me. Like you can get a hotel for $40 a night in El Salvador. like, you know, you can live in another country for so much cheaper than the US. So it's not like where people can't access it. Like you can do it. So that's like my main thing is like showing different places and also showing people that, you know, you can do it too, not just be like, oh, just look at these pretty pictures and I'll never be able to do that.
Which is great that you mentioned that, because it was the title of this episode for me, and the reason why I went with affordable luxury travel, because one, you and I had a conversation, so I kind of knew the backstory, but two, like to your point, traveling doesn't have to be expensive, right?
No.
Everyone has a different palette. Everyone has different tastes in terms of what they look for when they go on vacation or they take trips, but you can actually get out of the country and do it at an affordable price. So when you're researching places to go, so say you decide you want to go to Costa Rica, for example, and you're doing your research to figure out what the budget looks like to go to Costa Rica, like how do you start? Like what's your process? Like, do you start with hotels? Do you start with flights? Like a certain area? Like what does that look like for you?
Well, right now flights are super expensive, so
Girl.
like that's the first
it's
thing.
Crazy.
Now.
We need an electric plane, because right now it's not it.
It's crazy. You gotta look at what's the cheapest flights right now, because
right. Well, like it's affordable. Well, not right now.
Right. Yeah. Like usually, yeah, because I went even when right after COVID ended, I went to Hawaii for like $200 round trip, like. And I don't think you could find something like that now. So like I always say, like chase the deals, not the places. So like you don't just pick a place and be like, okay, I have to go here at this time, because there's cheaper times of the year to go certain places. And some places it could be a deal at that time. So you can go then. If there's still places on your list, you can go there at another time. So like you don't have to just find a place and then do it. Like I look up stuff. I look up hotels and flights, and also different like things to do, like different itineraries. I do a lot of like TikTok and Instagram research. So like I actually look at other influencers and other creators too, like of what they're posting, so I can actually see it. Because sometimes when you Google stuff, you don't really see, like, I'm like, how is it really? Like, you know, like you'd be like, okay, this is so good, but then it's like not, you know, I'm like, So I look up stuff like that, and then also just finding all the different deals. And I have travel credit cards too, so where I can go to for the cheapest price at that time. Like, okay, I want to travel in August. What's the cheapest thing right now? And the cruises are big too right now, especially because flights are so expensive. Some cruises, you don't have to get on a flight. So that's a cheaper way too.
Right. And so when you say you have a travel credit card, like meaning you have a credit card that you use specifically for your travel expenses?
Yeah, I have a few. So I have a Hilton one, which is for hotels, you know, obviously. They have a $0 annual fee one, which you get 80,000 bonus miles just from spending $1,000 in the first 3 months. And that could be like 3-4 free whole night stays for free. Like there's no annual fee. And I have a $95 annual fee one, which is 130,000 bonus points. You spend $1,000 in the first 2 months. And that's like another like 5 nights. So I got like 11 free hotel nights right now. And then also I have cards for flights also. So there's like Chase Sapphire is a good one. The Amex Platinum, people talk about a lot. It's expensive. So it has a $695 annual fee. But if you travel a lot, then it's definitely worth it, because you get like over $1,200 of like welcome bonuses from signing up. So, but you have to use the bonuses. You know, people just look at like, oh, it's this much. Like, no, but you're getting your money back and more. And you spend money anyways. Like you pay bills, you go to the store, and if you're just using your debit card, you're not getting nothing back from it. But if you're using a travel credit card for flights or for hotels, you're getting rewards on that back. So you're making money from that. So
yes. And listen to that, y'all. If you didn't catch anything else, or you won't catch anything else from the rest of this episode, hold on to that. Like literally utilize your credit cards as leverage. And make sure when you're deciding on who you're going to bank with, who you're going to use for a lender, you get a credit card that offers you bonuses. If you're still using a debit card right now in 2022, shame on you. Like, period, point blank and simple. If you're using a debit card right now, shame on you, because your debit card is not paying you for spending the money. Use a credit card that will give you bonus points, that will give you cash back rewards, and then pay that credit card off with your debit card money, right? And like literally the way to go when it comes to hotels, travel, like hotels, flights, like you said. I remember this past New Year's Eve, we had an event in downtown LA, right? And I was like, oh, it's New Year's Eve. I don't know if I want to drive back up north after the event, damn, let me get a hotel. When I looked up the hotel prices, I almost had a heart attack because you guys know New Year's Eve is a time where hotel prices are not cheap. But then I was like, shoot, I got a Marriott Bonvoy card. Like, let me see if I have any stays with Marriott. Lo and behold, I had like 5 stays with Marriott that I didn't know, like 5 nights. I have like 10 upgrades to Silver Suite or whatever the hell it's called. And so I was able to get a room downtown LA that was $600+ for $30.
Oh wow.
Like that, and it's only because I was doing what I would normally do, which is using my Marriott credit card to pay for things. And when I first got the Marriott credit card, I was actually traveling to Miami. And when I went to look at their hotel that I wanted, there was a specific hotel I wanted to stay in. Marriott, they had a pop-up, was like, get this credit card, you'll get X amount of points right away, and then you'll get a credit for the room. So a room that was like, let's say $264 a night ended up being like $164 after all was said and done, like give or take, right? The point was to sign up for the card, I was able to get a discount on the stay. And I was like, perfect. And then I just ran up that Marriott card. To your point, there's somewhere in 60 days, 90 days, if you spend a certain amount, they'll give you bonus points. JetBlue, I did the same thing. I had a JetBlue credit card. And like, if you think about it now, 1, flights are really expensive. 2, almost every airline you have to pay for your bag now, like literally pay for a carry-on. Like everyone's turned into Spirit for whatever reason.
Right, it's crazy, and there's so much everything is a la carte.
But having that credit card, I don't have to pay for my check bags, right? So there's so many benefits that come with credit cards that you just got to be smart about using other people's money, because even though you're spending with your own money, you're using their money as a return because you're getting rewards. So I like, we're on a tangent about that, but I'm so like passionate about people.
Yes, like earning. I was like, I'm so excited about that, finding out about travel hacking and stuff. I'm like, wow, like I didn't know about this before. Like, how did I not know about this? There's some people that don't know about it either. And also for like, Marriott, they use Chase. So with Chase, also what a lot of people don't know is if you apply for any credit card in the past like 2 years, more than 5 cards, if you open up more than 5 credit cards in the last 2 years, you're going to get denied. So like if you apply and get denied, that's why. So apply to Chase cards first. So Chase Sapphire, they have the preferred and reserved for flights, and Marriott is through Chase too. Right. If I can get a Chase one right now because I opened up too many credit cards in the last 2 years, I got to wait a few months. So sign up for those first. Anything that's involved through Chase, sign up for those first because they have that restriction. Yeah. And then the other gem too is with the American Express. Like two of my close people, they got all the American Express cards, like the Platinum, the I don't even know what they're called. I'm getting there, right? But I say all that to say, when you mentioned the annual fee being $695, it goes back to mindset. And I've been on a running streak of talking to people about changing their mindset and how we look at money. Money is a tool, it's a resource. It's not something that we should hold on to. And if you really think about it, you pay $695 for an annual fee to have the leverage of an unlimited amount of credit, quote unquote, right? Because unlimited. they don't give you a credit limit technically. And it's like, okay, so what's $20,000 leverage to $695 a year? Like that's nothing. So many benefits, so many that exceed way past $695. You get 100,000 points for flights that you can use, lounge access. I just discovered lounges like in February, and I'm like obsessed now. Like any country, any layover, like I have a 5-hour layover, I'm not like tripping because I get a free lounge access. I can get a free drink, free hot food, like a little cubicle. Some of them have beds. You can get like an outlet, like, and you can bring a guest. So it's so many benefits. Like perfect setup, Uber credit, everything. Yeah, so perfect setup. And I know this wasn't about credit, but we had to go there, y'all, because that's how you're gonna get on your affordable credit. Luxury travel is utilizing these credit card gems in order to get there. So I love that. In terms of going back, switching gears back to traveling, what was the first place you traveled to, and what was that experience like in terms of booking the travel versus being in the business of a travel agent now and going into the process of booking? Like, is it easier now? What tips have you learned? Is it the process different? Well, my first trip was when I went to Jamaica with my aunt, and she actually used a travel agent. So that was like my first experience with a travel agent. And then like it made the process so much easier because I didn't know anything because I hadn't traveled. So literally she found the hotel, found the flights, gave us somebody to talk to for activities, and then we were able to pay monthly, which I really love. I'm like, oh, that's like convenient, because my aunt told me about the trip in like November, but it wasn't until July of next year.
Right.
So you can pay monthly. That's one of the best benefits also of like using a travel agent and stuff. And like, I'm big on like, a lot of people sometimes do stuff last minute. I like doing stuff in advance because you can pay like monthly, you can pay on it. So it's not like you can't afford it, because everybody can, you know. It's like you pay a little bit each month. I was probably paying like $200 maybe like each month, and you know, as opposed to paying like a big lump sum all at once, because people see like one big price and they're like, oh, that's too much. But if you're paying monthly, then it's so much easier. So, and then after that, when I started booking my own travel, like I was just like looking up stuff, and like when I would see people going places, I would look at other people that were going to those places. I like do heavy research. Like I was like trying to find so much stuff. Even when I went to Costa Rica, I saw one of my friends I follow, I saw the hotel she was at. I was like, oh, I really like this volcano view. And then I saw that like it was 2.5 hours from the airport. So I'm like, oh, I need to get a rental car. So I was like looking up rental car prices, and I'm like, oh, this is super cheap. It's like $7 a day. But then I was looking on TikTok too, and like this girl was talking about how there's an insurance too that they don't tell you about. So you think you're about to pay $60 for a week for a rental car, but really it's like it could be a $300-400 mandatory insurance that's added on to that price that they don't tell you until you get there. So I'm like, I do like a lot of research and like learn stuff. And also as a travel agent myself, that's also why I travel so much, because I want to be able to personally go places that I recommend. Like I don't feel comfortable like telling you somewhere I've never been. So I'm trying to like go to as many different places, so then like I can show you like a real experience. And that's also the good thing about me traveling recently, because travel is so much different now, like post-pandemic, than it was before. So like I have like relevant, you know, like information, as opposed to like if I went somewhere 10 years ago, it'd be completely different.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So,
and literally all the things that you just talked about, from researching the car rental place, the hotel that has the volcano view. Like that's all the stuff I don't want to have to do. Like I am the worst person when it comes to planning a trip. Like I'm that person. I'm the friend where you say, okay, we want to go to Jamaica, and I'm like, how much does it cost? Where am I sending the money? Like that's me. When it comes to like what do we want to do when we're there? Who do we want to fly with? Where are we staying? Like literally, I close my ears and close my eyes because it's so overwhelming. Yeah. So like, how long does it take for you to research a location that you want to travel to? Like, you know, okay, Costa Rica is it. Like, how long is that process? Because it sounds like to me, I would be giving up the first hour.
Right. That's also why I started a travel agency too, because that I enjoy that stuff and it comes easy to me. And I didn't realize it's not easy for other people. So I'm like, it's so much more convenient for other people, because I do a lot of research, because also since I'm creating content, I'm like, I need to know where I can get the best shots at, you know, where I can like show some hidden gems and stuff. So it does take time, but when you get a travel agent, it doesn't. So that's why it makes it so much easier. You can get like a whole itinerary in a week's turnaround. So
there you go.
People that don't like booking travel, that makes it so much easier, because it is going, especially now too, because it's like with COVID restrictions and, you know, like visas and stuff, like there's things you like need to know. Like, and if you don't know, because even when I went to Panama, I had to fill out like a form. Like there's a lot of forms you have to fill out when you go places. And if you don't get to the airport like early enough, then you need to fill out that form, especially when like they were strict on COVID tests. Like it was like, I think 72 hours before, but if you got it like 74 hours before, they were not letting you on the plane.
Oh, wow.
So even finding that. So like being a travel advisor, I can find COVID tests for you too. And also there's like some at-home COVID tests that you can take where there's like a proctor. There'll be like a doctor on the phone and they can watch you take it. And they will accept that too. So there's like different ways. And then, but if you go through like a travel agent, it's so much easier, or else it is going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah. Times have changed. If you just tuned in, this is Coffee Talks Live with Sizzle Speaks. I'm here with Nae. and she is an amazing young woman, but also CEO of her own travel agency, Face the World Travel Agency. If you have any questions, because this is a live stream, and I see a couple of you on here watching live, so thank you. Shout out to you for being here. Leave a question in the comment box below. We'll make sure we get your question answered, because I do this for you all. It's not for me. I gain the information, so it's a little cheat code to get information. That's why if you don't have a podcast, start a podcast. But this is really for the community. So shouts out to you guys for being here. And speaking of COVID tests and the different restrictions going into other countries, one thing that I learned also early on was to get global entry for travel. And so if you don't know, global entry allows you to come back into, like, so we're from the States, so it allows you to come back into the States and not go through that whole process, waiting in a long ass line. There's an interview that you have to do ahead of time to get your global entry. But with global entry, you also get TSA pre-check, which was the smartest thing I could have done when it came to traveling. Because at this time, when I got global entry, I had a companion pass for JetBlue. So your girl was traveling. Okay, let me tell you, I was gone. And so, like, being able to just have that ease when it comes to travel is so important. So what are some tips for beginners? I know you mentioned that in the beginner, you have some beginner traveler tips. What are some tips that you want to share with the community in terms of getting your travel in order, like prioritizing what's important, and something that you learned where you're like, okay, if I knew this 4 trips ago, I would have done better?
Yeah, pre-check and global entry definitely is helpful too. And a lot of travel credit cards, like the Amex, for example, you get it free with it. So if you get a travel credit card, you'll get credit for global entry and pre-check. I missed the flight. I remember I missed the flight because I didn't have pre-check. The line was so long in the regular TSA line, but pre-check, it was nobody. So it makes
game
it
changer.
so much easier. And then customs can be crazy. So global entry, definitely get some global entry. And also there's like, for now with COVID restrictions, there's like apps you can download. Well, it will tell you like the restrictions of each place, and also like checking in on the app. Like, always download the app of whatever airline you're flying with and sign up for their what is like loyalty program.
Rewards program.
If you're gonna be flying with them, you're gonna get points either way. So always sign up with them, because like that's missing points that you could have just had anyways. So it's just like, it's so many like little things that like you don't think about, but
yeah. And then TSA, you don't have to take your shoes off or take your laptop out.
Yes, I almost missed my flight like that too, because I forgot to take my laptop out, and then they had to bring it through again. They literally had to put my bags through all the way again. They had to take the laptop out, put it out all the way again. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's a hassle. So global entry, TSA pre-check, way to go. So far, because I want to hear a horror story, like something that you didn't expect when you traveled. So what place have you gone to, if any, so far in your journey that you're like, one, I don't think I would go back there, or that like frightened you, or you had like a traumatic experience, if any? I always like the challenging stuff.
There's like, as far as like destinations, there hasn't been a place like I like hate it, but like the process. In Belize, I love Belize, but they are these little like sand flies. Like, you don't see them, but you feel them. And I got bit up so bad, like up and down both of my legs, and it itched so bad. I was like, I want to go home. And like, even days after, I was just scratching, and it was just like burning. So always bring bug spray. Always, especially if you're going anywhere tropical, bring bug spray, because like you will be eaten alive. Jamaica too, like you will get bit up, and it's like they have different bugs in different places, like stuff you don't think about. Well, if I'm like in LA walking around, I'm not thinking about putting on bug spray. Like, no, put some bug spray on, because or else like you will die. And some places don't have good food. And I just St. Lucia, and like I thought since it was the Caribbean, like their food was not good. So keep that in mind. Be open-minded when it comes to food, and also like be like wary of street food, because I have yet to, knock on wood, get like food poisoning, but I heard a lot of people that do, and a lot of times it's because of street food. So like, go to a restaurant. Even like, you can still get the local experience at a restaurant. It could be like a little small restaurant, but like for street food, like be careful. Like, be careful on that.
Okay, y'all, don't be eating from the streets.
Yeah.
Don't eat from the streets.
Know, like, it's different.
And what has been your favorite place to travel to so far? Because I know you got a lot more traveling to do in your bag. This is new for you, a new experience. But what has been your favorite place?
My favorite place will be Costa Rica or Jamaica.
Okay, and why?
Like Costa Rica is like their whole thing is like pura vida, which is like good life, and it's just you really feel that. Like it's just so relaxed. The food, it was the best food I ever traveled to was in Costa Rica. Like, and I was surprised. I'm like, I never heard of Costa Rican food. I don't see Costa Rican restaurants. I'm like, what kind of food is it gonna be? No, best food ever in Costa Rica, and it's just like the hot springs are just so relaxing. Like you will feel like so relaxed. If you want to take like a relaxing vacation, and definitely go to Costa Rica. But there's also a lot of different options. Like there's nightlife, well, it's not really nightlife, but there's like wildlife and stuff that you can check out. There's like the waterfall, there's different tours and stuff. So there are like different options, but it's like the whole vibe is just like it's so chill. And then like everybody is so nice and like welcoming. So I love that. Jamaica, I love Jamaica. I want to go back bad. I want to like go to other places before like returning to places that I've been. But I definitely want to go back to Jamaica. It's so much stuff. Like it's so much stuff. Like you can literally be there for like weeks. I still gotta do the little raft. I gotta do like the cliff jumping. It's so many things like there that you definitely have to go. Like
I'll be actually in Jamaica in October for my best friend's 40th. That's where she wants to go for her 40th. I mean, I've been to Jamaica like 2 or 3 times.
Wait, 3 times?
Maybe actually probably 4 because I went for a wedding and then leisure a few times. It's all a blur now. But I used to say the same thing. Say again?
Libra or Scorpio?
She's Libra.
I'm a Libra. Mine's a 19.
She's a Libra. She's October 6th and my mom is the 9th. So yeah, we'll be over there. So we have a question from Erica K. Hi, Erica. Thank you for tuning in to Coffee Talks.
Hi, Erica.
Are there credit cards out there that is for someone who travels not so frequently but travels?
The hotel one. So Marriott has a $0 annual fee one, and Hilton has a $0 annual fee one. So those are like you don't lose anything. So if you spend $1,000 within 3 months, you just put it on bill or something, you'll have those points and they don't expire. So it's not in a super rush to hurry up and use them. And for like flights, I wouldn't recommend like the higher priced like Amex or something. Those are for people that travel a lot, but they do have like $95 annual fee. So Chase Sapphire, I think it's the preferred. It's a $95 annual fee. That one gives you a lot of points too. And like the same thing, they don't expire. So, and it's like, it's a good like beginner card and they have good benefits and it's a lower price annual fee. City Premier has a $95 annual fee card also. So those ones around like $95 probably be like the lowest price like annual fee that you have, but the Chase Sapphire is really good. It's really popular.
Yeah. And then I know when I got my JetBlue card, I got it actually when I was on a flight to Puerto Rico. And so sometimes JetBlue, when you're on the flight, they'll do their announcement to say get their credit card.
Oh yeah.
Bonus points. So I did it during a time where they were giving bonus points. And although I don't travel as much now, they don't expire. They sit on my card until I use them. So if you don't travel much, still a good idea to have them. And then another tip, if you want to go the Amex route and apply for like the 3 different cards that they have or what so have you, make sure you do it all at the same time. Like open up 3 different tabs, 3 different browsers, and do one shot when you hit submit because it's only going to hit your credit report once. You'll get one hard inquiry from Amex for the 3 cards that you applied for. So that's really important. I learned that from some credit experts. So little gem there for you.
Oh yeah, because I know people be worried about the increase. Yeah, and airline cards. Like I got American one from being on a flight. It was like 60,000 bonus miles, and all you do like literally use the card. You can buy like $1 pack of gum and you get those. So I had that one on a flight too. And I had missed my flight going to Memphis for a travel conference like a few months ago. And then like I missed it the morning of, flights are crazy. So like to get a new flight, it was literally gonna be like $800 or something just to go there one way. And I used my American points, so it ended up being free. So
see, there y'all go. Y'all heard it here first. $800 to free just by doing what you'll normally do in your everyday life, which is spend your money. So be smart about it. Definitely. I want to touch on your social media platform a little bit, because I know someone, when they go and they click the description box and they're like, oh, I want to follow Nae, and I'll have you do your shots out for your business and all that too. But they go to follow you, they see, okay, your page aesthetically looks amazing, right? Again, I know I logged on and was like, oh my God, when am I going to get out the country again? This is stressful.
Thank you. That's the goal.
Yeah, so the page looks great. It's amazing. And then you have a great following. So talk to us about the process of building your community on social media. Like, what were some of the things that you focused on and continue to focus on to grow your audience?
Yeah, so building the community first is like finding what you want to focus on, like your niche or whatever. And like I decided I wanted to do travel like the end of 2020. And obviously I wasn't like traveling then because everything was closed. So finding one thing that you want to really focus on, like don't try to do everything, because then people are going to go to your page and they're like, what is this page about? Like you're talking about dogs one day, then skincare, then travel, and then food. Like it gets confusing. So people know what they're following you for. Like your page isn't for you, it's for other people. So like when people go to your page, like what am I going to get from your page? And like that's what I've been like trying to focus on mostly, like even recently now. So now I'm like, okay, like I love my page. I'm like, I want you to come, we aspire to travel, you're going to learn about travel, and then also positivity. You're going to like, it's like, that's why my page is bright and colorful. Like that's intentional. And then like positivity, self-care, self-love, mental health. So like know what you want people to get from your page, like how you're going to serve the community, not just about you. And then being like really consistent. Like when I first, at the end of December 2020, I committed to, I'm going to post at least 3 times a week. Like don't try to post every day because you're going to burn out. So something that you can be sustainable, that you can stick to, and batch creating your content. So don't try to like take something real quick and then post it. Like, no, take your content like a lot in advance. Since I do travel, like I take most of my content while I'm traveling. Like last year, I only traveled like 4 times, but I posted travel the whole time. So when I do travel, I'm like getting as much content as I can, taking much pictures, much videos, and then you can like spread it out throughout the year and like repurpose it, do it for reels, over pictures. Like you can wear the same outfit in like different backgrounds and post it, spread out. Nobody's like looking that close, be like, you had that outfit on. Like if it's like spread out, like don't post it back to back. So just doing that and having a strategy and just what works for you, what's going to be consistent for you. Like I just started on TikTok. People were like, oh, post 3 to 4 times a day. And I was like, that's crazy. I'm going to post like at least twice for like a month. So that's like what I'm doing. And I'm like, okay, now I can bump it up to 3. Don't try to do too much at one time because you're going to overwhelm yourself. And then also like trying to connect with other people. Like I didn't know any other like influencers or content creators, but there's lots of events, like the networking event that I met you at. Like I go to like different travel conferences. I literally like Google travel conferences, and then like joining different like mentorship programs and things like that. You meet other people and like just exposure. So like just putting yourself out there. Like don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't be like, oh, I can't do that, or like I don't know anybody that does that. Like when you put yourself out there and you put that energy, then like people will come, and then like different opportunities will come, and you like learn as you go. You don't have to know everything like right away.
Exactly. And now, if you guys did not catch all of that, there were a lot of gems that Nae just dropped in that one segment. So make sure you go back and rewind and go through those again, because a lot of important information when it comes to your social media page and strategy. And the biggest thing to understand is like your page is not for you. If you're an entrepreneur and you have a business, your page is not for you. Big point, because like you have to understand why people go to your page, continue to scroll, like, double tap, get on your lives, like all of that. Like do some research, go look at your analytics, what videos are doing well, what videos are not doing well. You know, get on your story, do a poll. Why do you follow me? Like get the information from your community, because if you're running your business on your social media page and you're doing it from a place of you're not going to get the 26K followers, right? Plus, like you're not going to grow your audience, and you're definitely not going to grow it fast enough to keep up with the pace of your business needs. Because like money is the end result of having a successful business. And like, in order to get money, you have to have the community. So that was like one of the things I wanted to reiterate, because that's the most important. Your page is not about you, it's about your audience. So understand your audience, and then understand who you're speaking to in terms of the niche. Like, she is so specific. Nae is so specific in terms of what her page, who her page targets, rather, right? And her page targets people who are interested in travel, and they're interested in affordable luxury travel, self-care, and travel. So like, her page speaks to that, which has allowed her to build her community and build that authority. So that's really, really important. So kudos to you. Congrats on keeping it consistent, doing it, and putting yourself in position to win, and like getting out into rooms and spaces and places that you know you're going to meet other people that are like-minded, who will excel and boost you in your career, and you'll be able to learn more. Like, you literally are a sponge. And I feel like I told you that when I met you at Stormy's event. Like, you are a sponge. You're so absorbent in like the information you take in. You're open to receiving feedback. You're open to growing. And that's the key when it comes to being a new entrepreneur, and really understanding the ropes. Is like, you have to be coachable. You have to be open and willing to invest in yourself to grow and get better. So, I mean, I give you all my kudos and all my shots out. Like, you're like my little sis. So keep doing what you're doing. I love it. And last but not least, before I get into what do you like to do in your coffee break, brand partnerships. For anyone who's watching this live and they're interested in getting more influencer deal, brand partnerships, because you do some brand partnerships on your page as well. What are the main things to keep in mind to get yourself to a point for brands to start wanting to reach out and work with you?
Building your community, so, and also being really consistent, because they are going to notice if you're consistent. You can't just post and then disappear. Like, you have to be like really consistent, and then also like putting like your location. So like, people are looking, like, I get invited to some influence events in LA, but like, if I never put LA, then how people know? And that's for any business, because I go to a hairstylist page and I'm like, where are you at? Like, I want to get my hair done. I have no.
For real. That's a true story.
Like, I'm like, so you have to put like where you are, like put like what you do, like, so people will know, like, it matches, because sometimes people are not going to just scroll. You got to give them a reason to scroll. Like, what is this page about? So you have to do that. And also like high quality content. Don't just throw something together and just be like, okay, like whatever, and keep a consistent aesthetic. Like, I take all my pictures outdoors, like, and that's intentional. And all during the day. I use natural light because my aesthetic, I want to be like bright and colorful. So I take it all, like, and I use my iPhone for like at least 90% of my page. So in iPhone, use like natural lighting is the best for iPhone. That's when you're going to get like crisp, clear pictures. Like at night, it gets all grainy and stuff. And sometimes indoor it gets grainy, but outside, you're going to get that best quality. And like, quality matters. Like, it for sure matters. Like, quality over quantity. So make sure you're consistently putting out like quality content, and also like reaching out to brands too, like, and tagging brands that you already use. Like, if you consistently use the same conditioner, like even the deodorant you use, like little stuff you don't even think about, like put it on your story, make a reel about it, and then tag the brand too, and that will get their attention. Like, okay, and they like to see people that actually already authentically use the brand and already like naturally, organically talking about it, because or else they'd be like, who are you? Like, you reach out, they'd be like, for you. But if you really actually enjoy the brand, they're going to see that too. Like, they're gonna be like, okay, this is like genuine. They genuinely enjoy this, and we're going to actually work with them, as opposed to somebody that never used the product. So reach out to brands, you know, go to their social media, their Instagram or whatever, like some pictures, comment, follow them, and then like even slide in their DM, be like, oh, are you looking for influencers? Like, who is the best person to contact? Like, get their email and stuff. You know, you have to like put yourself out there, because sometimes they're not always going to just come to you. And just putting like, it has to be a balance of both, because sometimes they can't find you. Like, it's so many people on Instagram. It's not that, oh, they don't like your stuff. They probably don't even know who you are yet. They haven't found you yet.
Yes, because Instagram is showing 0.2% of y'all.
Yeah, I'm like, what is going on? Like, sometimes
it's
like
so tragic,
super low, and then it's like super good. Like, it's just like, and be on Instagram. Like, there's like, you have to be on there and like learn, engage with people, like engage with other people that are similar to you, like other accounts of what you want to be. Like, you like their aesthetic, you like that they're doing travel too, or they're doing beauty too, they're doing fashion too. Go to their page and like and comment. Don't just like stare at their stuff. Be like, okay, I like this girl's page and stuff, but then like you never engage with. Like, people notice when you're consistently engaging with their stuff. And like, I made that mistake coming off too. Like, I'm like, I love this person's page, but they never knew it, because like I would like it, but I wouldn't comment. So don't be afraid to comment. Don't be afraid to slide people DM. Like, we actually appreciate that support. And then also, like, that's all engagement. So that all matters. Like, we really genuinely appreciate that. So if you be like, oh, I want some tips about this, or like, don't be afraid to engage in a poll or something that they put out. Like, don't be afraid, because like, you can meet other connections too, and you can learn more from other influencers, because there's not always a lot of information out there. So actually connecting with people, that's in any business too. Like, in the business that you want to be in, as somebody that's where you want to be, don't be afraid to reach out to them and connect with them and stuff. Don't like shrink yourself or anything, like, because imposter syndrome is big in this industry. Yeah. Like, but you can reach out to people, like, they're regular human people too. Like, I went to travel conferences, I'm like, dang, like, you a regular person. Like, so
exactly.
Don't
we all human at the end of the day.
Yeah,
I love that. Like, I love that. So if you're all looking for brand partnerships, closed mouths do not get fed. Keep that in mind. So go out there, reach out, be open. Let go of the fear of the ego, because I think the ego gets in the way. I'm actually doing my first brand partnership. I believe I'm gonna put the video out today, my initial video, but with Bite. So I mean, I've been on a mission to align and straighten my teeth for so many years, and your girl just didn't take it seriously for so long. And I was like, no, 40. I'm not going into 40 without braces, because like I have zero discipline. So I was like, I have to get traditional braces, because I had Invisalign before, and I went to Miami. Talking about travel, I went to Miami, and I was like, well, I can't drink and eat the way I want to, because I have to pull these things out of my mouth every damn hour. And it's such a mess. So long story short, I ended up wasting $5 grand on Invisalign. But I'm getting ready to start this journey with Bite, and I'm excited because they have aligners that you can wear at night. So it's great for content creators, because we are on video, we're on camera all day long for the most part. And so I can wear them at night. So look out for that on my Instagram, Sizzle Speaks. I'll be posting about that soon, and you are able to get a discount. But yeah, it's time. It's time. And then, Nae, let the audience know where they can find you, your social handles, the business profile, and what the services that you provide are.
Yes, so I'm on Instagram at Nae Lynette, NaeLynette.ig, and then on TikTok I'm at Nae Lynette, and then it's an underscore, and then YouTube is Nae Space Lynette, and then I have my travel agency page, which is Face the World _travel, and so I'm a content creator, influencer, so all things like travel, wellness, I do travel and wellness, so even like healthy eating, like different supplements and things like that, fitness and all that good stuff. So there, and then also, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, also my travel agency page. So it's still pretty new, but I'm going to be starting to put consistent content on there. Like, I want to keep a consistent aesthetic like I did on my page. So I don't want to just like rush and put stuff out there and it looks crazy everywhere. So like, it's still in the works. You can still like DM me. I can still plan a trip and stuff, but I wanted to make sure it's good. I've been traveling a lot lately, so I haven't been having time to sit down and put stuff together. So I'm taking like a 2-month travel break right now, so I'm gonna be like going hard and getting everything together to make sure it looks good and all that, because it can be hard sometimes, like traveling and then trying to do stuff. So like trying to work and travel, it could be like too much. So I'm like, sometimes I just need to be at home and like just be focused in.
Perfect. And I'll put all the information in the description box below. That way you all can find Nae after this episode. And on Coffee Talks, I always ask this question to my guests. On your coffee break, what does Nae like to do?
My coffee break? I love to get like an acai bowl. That's like,
Ubatuba?
Huh?
Ubatuba?
Where's that?
Or is that what it's called? Ubatuba, right? They do acai bowls. Yeah, there's a place called Ubatuba.
There's so many places, especially in LA. That's what I love about being in LA. It's hard to find other places. I'm like,
Ubatuba. If you're ever in Studio City, there's one. I think in Hollywood, there's one. There's a couple around, but Ubatuba, they have really good acai bowls.
Oh, I need to check them out. Yeah. Yep. I love, like, I'm always in the mood for that. And a good smoothie. I love me a good smoothie too.
Love it. Love it. Well, thank you so much for being on the episode of Coffee Talks. I appreciate you. I'll leave the information for Nae below. So if you all are interested in travel, self-care, wellness, even, understanding the logistics in terms of getting your Instagram page together, she may help you with that. She may not. I'm adding that in there.
I will help.
But make sure you click the description box, get her information, connect with her. And the most important thing, always remember, everything starts with mindset. So put yourself in position to win. Get into rooms. I met Nae through a networking event. She's literally in the same city that I'm in. And I probably would have never come across her if I didn't show up to this space. So make sure you're networking, you're being present. If you're in LA, next Friday, I have an event with my org, Luvione. We have our LA networking mixer going down in downtown LA, the largest rooftop. So you can also get that information on my Instagram page at Stizzle Speaks. So make sure you hit us up, follow us. Nae, thank you so much for being here. Everyone who watched live, thank you. If you're just tuning in and watch or seeing this on YouTube, go back, rewind the episode. Many gems dropped about travel, about credit cards, all of that good stuff. So make sure you watch it back.
Yes, I love it. And send me the info for the event because I'll be.
I'll DM you right now.
Okay.
Alrighty.